Okay, so how do you be yourself at all times? I feel like now than ever, it's so difficult to just be yourself, especially with the rise and popularity of like social media. I feel like there's sort of this standard built around how you're supposed to act and the things you're supposed to do, and it causes a lot of people to just do the same things. It causes people to sort of have all the same interests and sort of fit this social standard that is sort of just put on a pedestal for whatever reason. It's common to come across someone who's just naturally themselves and is so tapped into who they are and just an authentic person. I feel like authentic people I always gravitate toward because I know that I can learn something from them and they have their own opinions and they have their own personality. Maybe you feel like you can't be yourself around certain people because you're afraid of being judged or you're afraid of being thought of differently. I think it's completely normal to be scared to be yourself sometimes. I mean, maybe you're someone who just doesn't want to draw attention to yourself and you sort of just want to take a step back when controversial things arise and maybe you're not very confident in who you are yet. It takes a lot of courage and confidence to sort of be yourself at all times. It takes practice and it takes courage to do what you want to do despite what other people think. However, I think once you figure out how to be yourself at all times, you're just a lot more free. You're not confined or restricted by the things other people tell you to do or what society has forced onto you in a way. So, what will I say to someone who is just uncomfortable with being themselves? I would say, for me personally, I'd rather be liked from who I actually am rather than liked because of someone who I portray myself as. If you're not around certain people and they like you for that, then you're just living untruthfully. Every single person watching this is unique in their own way. I think it's so important that you highlight those differences and you embrace being different from other people because that's what makes you who you are. I feel like there's so many copies in this world, and if everyone would just offer a different perspective and offer a different individual personality, then the world would just be a lot more interesting. I feel like a lot of people have trouble with showing their true selves, and in return, you're sort of given this fake service level persona, especially when you're meeting someone new. There's always that sort of hesitant mindset that you have because you don't want to let this person in or you don't want to let this person know who you truly are, and that's completely normal. It's okay to be scared of being judged for who you truly are. But for me personally, I'd rather be judged from who I actually am than be liked for who I'm actually not. When you just be yourself, you start to realize who's actually there for you and who's not. Laying out your entire personality allows you to spot the people who maybe you shouldn't be hanging around. And it allows people to really connect with you. So if you're having trouble with being yourself, I want you to think back to when you were younger. Think back to the days in elementary school when you didn't really care about judgment and you were sort of living life freely. I want you to think back to what your younger self would want for you. Your younger self didn't care about what other people thought. Your younger self had the most fun you've ever had in your entire life. Your younger self didn't care about being judged by other kids in school. I want you to take that same mindset and bring it to the present. You owe it to your younger self because that's the version of yourself that's truly you. That's the part of you that you don't show in public or with friends or with family. If you're trying to paint a certain picture or image of yourself and sort of have this fake personality, it gets extremely tiring. I feel like people who do that are always trying to prove something or trying to act a certain way, and it becomes extremely tiring and exhausting if you keep trying to push this certain narrative about yourself. That's not really true. If you stop worrying about what other people think and you just be yourself, life just becomes a lot more carefree and laid back. Being yourself just also allows you to explore new things. It allows you to meet new people. It allows you to grow. At the end of the day, not everyone's gonna like you. You're not always gonna please everyone. There's always gonna be someone who thinks differently of you or maybe judges you a certain way, and that's completely okay. For me personally, I take that as a blessing when other people have different opinions about me, because then I know for sure that I'm being true to myself and I'm not putting my values on the line or changing myself to fit into a certain standard. If you're a friend to everyone, you're just being an enemy to yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice because all these people are liking you for not who you really are. When you're yourself, it allows you to find people who like you for you. It allows you to find those deep, true connections with other people because they care and like you for all your flaws, for all your differences. And it's not easy, but what's important on learning how to be yourself is just being consistent. And during this process, you may lose friends. You may have certain people walk out in your life because they don't like you for who you truly are. And in return, I think that's a blessing in disguise.